Hello, I'm back again with some more questions that I've had from my friends on YouTube, basically. This chap is a chap called Aziz. His name is AZ1Z Columbi. That's his screen name. And he asks, "Hello Mark, thanks for your amazing uploads. I'm planning to buy a turntable, a Rager. But I'm not sure whether to go for the P5 or the P324. I would like your help whether there's any difference between these two models. I want to go for a P5, but the P324 option stays because of the colour choices which I can make. Is there any major difference? Thanks a lot for the time and your help. Really appreciate it, Aziz." Okay, right. To answer that question, I can't really fully answer it. I can only make a guess. Because the P3 that I used to have was an older model. It wasn't the P324, it was called the P3 2000. And it had on it the RB 300 tone arm, which basically differs from the tone arm slightly that is on the P324. But in most other respects, it's the same. The new P324 allows the option of the TT-PSU, which is like a power supply thing, where you can fit it and you can have electronic speed change instead of having to swap the belt over if you're going from 33 to 45. It also offers improvements in speed stability. Okay, when I changed them from the old P3 to the P5, I was quite amazed really at the differences between the two in terms of sound. The P3 sound is lovely. It's or the old P3 sound was lovely. It was warm and cuddly and very musical, slightly emotionally dry, but from the reviews and things that I've read, although that improves on the more expensive models, it's not really thoroughly sorted out until you go for a P9 with an RB 1000 tone arm on it. Okay, but it's certainly a really good sound, very musical, and if you've only ever heard records played on an old sort of tin pot record player, the BSR or something like that, then you will be thoroughly astounded at the quality that you can get, and you would wonder how on earth it could get any better. With the P5, I'm happy to say, thank goodness, it does get better. It's more detailed, and also not just sort of hearing things that you haven't heard before. It's brought to life in a much more believable way. The stereo separation, for example, is much better, and part of that is due to the big tone arm upgrade between the old RB 300 arm and the newer arm RB 700, I think it's called, the RB 700, which is basically, it's made to higher tolerance levels than the RB300. It's also got an upgrade of wiring. People can take their old RB300 tone arms to somewhere like Origin Live or somewhere, and they'll do a modification as well, which also brings the arm up. But this is Rager's own modification, basically, to the RB300 arm. So the arm on the P5 then, just in case you're a bit confused, and who wouldn't be, the RB700 that's on the P5 is a modified RB300 that was on the old P3. It has a different way of fixing itself to the main plinth. It's now fixed with three sort of, I suppose, a bit like a sort of Mercedes or CND sign sort of shape, basically, whereas the 300 was basically one sort of long sort of construction. Sorry, that looks a bit rude there. That was basically a single point where it was sort of fixed into the plinth. The new 3-point fixing is supposedly better, and supposedly has an effect on the sound quality. So yes, between the old P3 and the P5, there is a major difference. Okay, I would say that the P324, which is the newer incarnation, which has the RB301 tone arm on it, which is basically an RB300, but with the 3-point fixing. I don't know really. I mean, I still think that there would be an improvement for buying the P5. Because I don't think they've actually done any major upgrades to the tone arm apart from that fixing. With the the power supply speed change thing added to it, I think that brings it more or less up to P5 without speed change price, and then the differences might be slightly more vague. The P5 with the speed change thing, which I don't have, but I would imagine that would trounce a P324 with a speed change thing. But just the basic cooking P5 against an a P324 with the speed change, I'm not so sure about. So yeah, really, it's up to you. And if you like the colours of the new P3s 24s, then yes, buy one, but then get the power supply that goes with it, the speed change power supply. Okay, because that has quite a major effect on the on the sound quality as well. So yes, I hope that's answered your question, and I hope it doesn't sound like spaghetti. All right. Yeah, I mean, you know, there may well be, you know, differences, but you know, the RB301 arm is capable of handling some pretty good cartridges, some, you know, some quite good moving coil cartridges up to about sort of £600, I would have said. Something like the Bent's Micro Ace or something like that. But it also does extremely well on a top moving magnet cartridge, like something like an Autophon 2M Black, or even better than that, in my opinion, is the Goldring 1024, which is half the price of, sorry, 1042. The Goldring 1042 GX. Gosh, I'm copying it up today. Yeah, that is probably one of the best moving magnet cartridges that you can get. It's absolutely super, and especially if you couple it to something like a Creek Phono stage like I've got, the OBH15 is you know, that and a Riga turntable and a Goldring cartridge, it's a partnership made in heaven. And you know, yeah, of course you can get better, but for the money that you pay on that, then you know, it's pretty darn good. Okay, sorry, that's just my Facebook gone off there and my email. Right, the second question that I'm going to answer very quickly is I had a question about one of the music editing in Logic Express videos that I've done. They have, oh God, Facebook again. This person, if I can get their name. Because my phone changed, changed screen. I do beg your pudding here. Email, that's what I want, isn't it? Go back. I'm not even sure if I've got this message still here. Wait a minute, what's that? Ah, yeah. Okay, this is from someone with an unpronounceable screen name, XX Dark 12 Killer. XX Dark 12 Killer. Okay, they want to know if it's possible within Logic Express to remove the vocal from an old shuffle song. Now, Logic Express is a music studio program it's really intended for people like me who like messing around, creating their own songs, more or less really from scratch. There are a few loops and things in there as well if you want to do it like that. So it's like an upgrade of GarageBand, really. Much more usable than GarageBand, and you know, much more capable program. Okay, although I do a little bit of music editing in there, cutting out you know, swear words and things like that, and doing things for people at work that want pieces of music shortened or whatever. It's wasted doing that, really. It's not worth the money if that's all you want to do. If you want to record your songs like I've done and put some of the results on YouTube and go and find them, then yeah, buy that. Okay, if you just want to take the vocals off of a song, the best thing to do is to download a program called Audacity, and what you're after really is an out of phase stereo sort of mix there. It's out of phase, as I said in, I think, my very first video that I did for YouTube, or second video or something like that. Out of phase stereo, when I introduced the ABBA anomalies, I showed how to do it via just sort of reconnecting your speakers in a bizarre way. But it can be done in software, and Audacity is a free download. Just go to www.audacity.org to find it, or Google Audacity, Audacity, Audicity, and perhaps the next video I have, perhaps I won't be quite so tongue-tied, maybe. Okay, all right, so I hope that that's answered your question, Dark Killer, with double X's and a 12 in there somewhere. I will see you all soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.